Have you ever had that sudden, unexpected leak, maybe when you sneeze, laugh just a little too hard, or even when you stand up from a chair? You didn't plan for it, you didn't expect it, but there it is, and suddenly you feel embarrassed, maybe even frustrated with your own body. If this has happened to you, you're not alone. In fact, it happens to millions of women every single day. Now, here's the thing, most people don't talk about it. They hide it. They pretend it's not happening. Some women even convince themselves it's just a normal part of aging that can't be helped. But let me tell you, what if I told you that much of this isn't just age catching up with you? What if some of it comes down to everyday habits, little things you might be doing without even realizing they're making the problem worse? This matters because bladder leaks don't just affect your body, they affect your confidence, your independence, even the joy in the simple moments of life. It can stop you from going out with friends, from joining family gatherings, from enjoying laughter without fear. And yet, the good news is, many times, it doesn't have to be this way. Doctors have found that breaking just a handful of daily habits can dramatically reduce the chances of those embarrassing leaks. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. In this video, we're uncovering 6 habits that senior women are warned to avoid if they want to stop wetting their pants. 6 habits that, if you start changing today, can help you take back your comfort, your confidence, and your dignity. Some of these might surprise you, some may sound familiar, and the last one, well, it's the one almost every woman overlooks, even the most health-conscious. So, before we dive in, I want to ask you something. Have you or someone you love ever dealt with these little bladder leaks? If so, I want you to type, "I'm here," in the comments. Let's build a safe space where women don't have to feel alone anymore. And while you're here, make sure you hit that subscribe button to join our family at Elderly Wisdom Tips. Every day we share practical, life-changing advice to help you live your later years with health, confidence, and joy. Let's start with the very first habit, and this one might surprise you because so many women do it without thinking. It's the habit of ignoring the urge to pee. Picture this, you're at a family gathering. You're sitting in the living room, enjoying a conversation, maybe laughing at a story someone just shared. Suddenly, you feel that little nudge from your bladder. You know you should excuse yourself, but the bathroom feels far, or you don't want to interrupt the moment. So, you tell yourself, "I'll wait just a little longer." You distract yourself, sip some water, keep chatting. Minutes turn into half an hour, and before you know it, that urge has either passed or, worse, it hits you stronger and suddenly you feel a leak you didn't plan for. Here's the truth, when you keep ignoring the signals your bladder is giving you, you're actually stretching it in unhealthy ways. The bladder is a muscle, and just like any other muscle in your body, it can become weaker if it's overstrained. Holding your urine for long periods puts pressure on the pelvic floor and bladder walls. Over time, this weakens the very muscles you need to stay dry and in control. Now, I know some women believe that holding it in helps train the bladder to be stronger. You may have even told yourself, "If I wait a little longer each time, maybe my bladder will toughen up." But that's not how it works. In fact, it's the opposite. By constantly ignoring the urge, you're teaching your bladder that it has to overstretch, and that leads to leaks, not control. So, what's the better choice? Listen to your body. When your bladder tells you it's time to go, honor that signal. Don't feel embarrassed about excusing yourself, even if it's in the middle of a conversation or outing. In fact, you're doing your body a favor. Emptying your bladder regularly helps keep it healthy and prevents those sudden, uncontrollable leaks later on. And remember, it's not about running to the bathroom every 10 minutes, it's about not pushing your body past its natural limit. Think of it like caring for a friend. Your bladder is giving you gentle reminders, the kindest thing you can do is pay attention. But frequency alone isn't the only issue here. What you drink, the choices you make every single day, can have just as big of an impact. And that brings us to the second habit. And this one often slips under the radar because it's tied to our daily routines, the little comforts we look forward to, I'm talking about drinking too much caffeine and alcohol. Think about that first cup of coffee in the morning. For many women, it's more than just a drink, it's a ritual. That warm mug in your hands, the smell, the feeling that your day can finally begin. Or maybe it's the glass of wine in the evening, a way to unwind after a long day. These moments feel comforting, almost necessary. But here's the hard truth, while they may soothe your mind, they can quietly make your bladder problems worse. Here's why: both caffeine and alcohol are diuretics. That means they push your body to produce more urine, filling your bladder faster than normal. On top of that, they irritate the bladder lining, making those sudden urges harder to control. So instead of one trip to the bathroom, you may find yourself going 3 or 4 times as often. And worse, the leaks sneak in because your bladder can't keep up. Now, here's a very common mistake I want to clear up. Some women notice this happening and think, well then, I'll just cut down on fluids altogether. If I drink less, I'll leak less. But that's a dangerous trap. When your body doesn't get enough water, your urine becomes concentrated, it's harsher on the bladder and actually makes urgency worse. Not to mention, dehydration affects everything from digestion to heart health. So, what's the healthier balance? You don't have to give up your coffee or wine completely. But you can be mindful. Maybe instead of 3 cups of coffee, try just 1 in the morning, and switch the others for water or a gentle herbal tea. In the evenings, instead of that nightly glass of wine, alternate with sparkling water or a soothing caffeine-free tea. These small swaps don't just help your bladder, they support your whole body. It's about giving your bladder a break, letting it breathe, and not overwhelming it with irritants day after day. And here's something to remember: what you drink is just one piece of the puzzle. How you sit, how you stand, even the way you carry yourself throughout the day can quietly add pressure to your bladder. That brings us to the third habit. And this is one that hardly anyone thinks about when it comes to bladder health: your posture and your core muscles. You might be wondering, what does the way I sit or stand have to do with leaks? But the truth is, everything. Picture this for a moment. You're sitting in your favorite chair, maybe watching television or reading a book. You slowly sink down into the cushions, your shoulders slump forward, and your stomach muscles loosen. It feels comfortable in the moment, doesn't it? But what's happening underneath isn't so comfortable for your body. That slouched position shifts pressure downward, straight onto your bladder and your pelvic floor. Over time, that constant pressure weakens the very muscles that are supposed to keep you dry and in control. The bladder doesn't work alone. It relies on a team of muscles, ligaments, and core support to function properly. But when your posture is poor, your core muscles become lazy, and your pelvic floor takes on stress it was never meant to handle. That's when those embarrassing leaks become more frequent. Here's the biggest misconception many women have: they think bladder control is only about the bladder itself. They don't realize it's deeply connected to how strong and supported their entire core is. If your posture is weak, if your stomach and back muscles aren't doing their job, your pelvic floor ends up carrying more than its fair share. But here's the good news: you don't need to spend hours in a gym to fix this. Small, gentle movements can make a world of difference. Try sitting up a little taller when you're in a chair, keeping your shoulders relaxed but open. Take a few short walks each day, even just around the house. Add some simple stretches. Something as easy as lifting your arms overhead and taking a deep breath while you sit upright. These little changes strengthen your core, improve your posture, and give your pelvic floor the support it needs. Think of it this way: every time you sit or stand with a little more awareness, you're not just protecting your back, you're protecting your bladder. But posture and core strength are only part of the story. Even if you sit up tall and walk daily, your muscles can still weaken from another daily habit that almost everyone overlooks. And that brings us to the fourth habit: skipping pelvic floor exercises. And this one is so important, because many women don't even realize how much power these simple little movements can give them. Some women believe it's too late. They think, I'm over 60, my muscles are weak, what's the point now? But that's not true at all. The body has an incredible ability to respond, no matter your age. Even in your later years, your pelvic muscles can be retrained, strengthened, and supported. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine a woman who has been dealing with leaks for years. She feels embarrassed, so she avoids outings, avoids laughter, even avoids dancing at her granddaughter's wedding because she's afraid of an accident. Then, she learns about something as simple as pelvic floor exercises, what most people call Kegels. At first, she's doubtful. Can squeezing muscles I can't even see really help me? But after a few weeks of practice, she notices the difference. The leaks aren't as frequent. Her confidence grows. She starts to live more freely again. That transformation is real, and it's possible for anyone. Here's the science behind it. Your pelvic floor muscles act like a hammock, supporting your bladder, uterus, and bowel. Over time, childbirth, aging, or even years of sitting too much can weaken those muscles. When they don't hold as tightly as they should, leaks happen. Kegel exercises work by gently tightening and releasing those muscles, almost like giving them a daily workout. Just like lifting light weights can strengthen your arms, Kegels can strengthen your bladder support. But here's the big misconception. Many seniors believe exercise is only for the young, or only for people trying to lose weight. They don't realize that exercise can be tiny, invisible, and done anywhere, even while watching TV or lying in bed. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need to go to the gym. You just need a few minutes of focus, every single day. And those few minutes add up. They create lasting improvement, not overnight, but gradually, gently, in a way your body can handle. It's like planting a seed and watching it grow into something strong and reliable. So if you've ever told yourself it's too late, let me reassure you, it's never too late. Your muscles are waiting for you to wake them up. But even the strongest muscles can't protect you from something else that plays a huge role in bladder health, what you put on your plate every single day. And that leads us to the fifth habit. Eating bladder-irritating foods. And this one can be so tricky, because often it's the foods you love the most that end up working against you. Picture this, you're enjoying a delicious meal. Maybe it's a bowl of spicy soup on a cold evening, or a refreshing slice of citrus fruit after lunch. Perhaps it's even that sugar-free dessert you chose because you thought it was the healthier option. All of these might taste wonderful in the moment, but your bladder may not agree. Here's why. Certain foods are known irritants for the bladder. Acidic choices, like oranges, lemons, or tomatoes, can make the bladder lining more sensitive. Spicy dishes, as flavorful as they are, can set off the same reaction. Even artificial sweeteners, those little packets or diet sodas that seem like smart substitutes, can confuse the bladder and trigger leaks. It's not about the size of the meal, it's about the chemistry of what's in it. Now, many women make this mistake. They think diet only matters when it comes to heart health, diabetes, or weight. They don't connect food with bladder control. But the truth is, your bladder is just as sensitive to what you eat and drink as your blood sugar or your blood pressure. Every bite you take is sending a message to your body. Some foods soothe, others irritate. And when the bladder is irritated, leaks are much more likely. So what can you do? The best step is not to cut out everything you enjoy, but to become your own detective. Keep a simple food journal. Write down what you eat and notice when leaks happen more often. Over time, you'll start to see patterns. Maybe it's spicy meals that set you off, or maybe it's too much citrus, or even that daily can of diet soda. Once you know your personal triggers, you can make small adjustments without feeling deprived. Think of it as learning the language of your own body. Your bladder is trying to communicate, and by paying attention, you can respond with care instead of frustration. And now we come to the final habit. This one is the most overlooked, yet it can also be the most damaging, because it's not about what you drink, eat, or even how you move. And that brings us to the sixth habit. Avoiding doctor visits and regular screenings. Too many women suffer in silence, feeling embarrassed to bring this up with their doctor. Maybe you've thought, oh, it's just part of getting older. Everyone goes through it. Why bother mentioning it? So, year after year, you quietly endure the leaks, planning your outings around restrooms, carrying extra pads in your bag, and never truly feeling free. But here's the truth you need to hear: bladder leaks are not always just about age. Sometimes, they're a sign of an underlying health issue that needs attention. It could be something as simple as a urinary tract infection, or as complex as pelvic organ prolapse. It could even be linked to certain medications or other health conditions. And here's the good news: many of these things can be treated or managed, often with simple lifestyle changes or medical support. The biggest misconception is believing that leaking is just a normal, unavoidable part of getting older. That once it starts, there's nothing you can do. But doctors see this differently. They know that while aging can increase the risk, there are countless strategies, medical and non-medical, that can help you regain control. From physical therapy to medication, from lifestyle adjustments to minimally invasive treatments, there are solutions you may never hear about unless you have that conversation with your doctor. So here's my gentle advice: don't let embarrassment hold you back. Don't wait until things get worse. Schedule that checkup. Speak honestly with your doctor. They've heard it all before, and they want to help you. Remember, you deserve to live with dignity, comfort, and freedom. And sometimes, the bravest step you can take is simply saying, "I need help with this." Because ignoring the problem won't make it go away, but addressing it early can stop it from controlling your life. Now that we've gone through all 6 habits, let's take a moment to step back and reflect on what this really means for senior women and their families. It can feel discouraging, can't it? To struggle with something so personal, so private, that you rarely even say it out loud. Many women who deal with bladder leaks slowly lose pieces of themselves over time. The confidence to laugh freely without worry, the comfort of sitting through a church service without sneaking out, the joy of saying yes to a day trip with friends without calculating where every bathroom will be. For some, it even chips away at social life, skipping gatherings, turning down invitations, quietly withdrawing because the thought of an accident feels too humiliating. And before long, what started as a physical issue begins to affect the heart, the spirit, the sense of independence. But listen closely, this is not about shame. This is about empowerment. You are not broken. You are not weak. You are not defined by these leaks. What you're facing is a common health challenge, and just like high blood pressure, diabetes, or arthritis, it's something that can be managed, improved, and in many cases, controlled. By breaking these 6 habits, you are not just protecting your bladder, you are reclaiming something much bigger. You are reclaiming your freedom. The freedom to move with ease. The dignity to live without constant worry. The daily joy of knowing you are in control of your body, not the other way around. And the best part? It doesn't take a complete life overhaul to start seeing change. It takes small, consistent steps. Maybe today, your first step is as simple as swapping that second cup of coffee for a glass of water. Maybe it's sitting up straighter in your chair, giving your core and pelvic floor the support they deserve. Or maybe it's finally picking up the phone and booking that appointment with your doctor, the one you've been putting off. Every single step counts. And the sooner you start, the sooner you feel lighter, freer, more confident in your own skin. And please remember this, you are not walking this journey alone. Thousands of women your age have stood exactly where you are, feeling stuck, embarrassed, unsure if anything could change. And yet, with a few adjustments, they've regained their strength, their comfort, and their joy. So if they can do it, so can you. Your story is not over. This is your time to take back control, to say yes to life again, and to remind yourself that you are stronger than you think. Let's do a quick recap of what we've learned today. There are 6 everyday habits that silently weaken bladder health and independence as we age. Habit number 1, ignoring the urge to pee. Holding it in may seem harmless in the moment, but it stretches the bladder and weakens the very muscles that keep us in control. Habit number 2, drinking too much caffeine or alcohol. That comforting cup of coffee or evening glass of wine may seem small, but both act as diuretics, filling the bladder faster and irritating its lining. Habit number 3, poor posture and weak core muscles. Something as simple as slouching can put added pressure on the pelvic floor, quietly making leaks more likely. Habit number 4, skipping pelvic floor exercises. Many believe it's too late to strengthen those muscles after a certain age, but the truth is, improvement is possible at any stage of life. Habit number 5, eating bladder-irritating foods. Spicy dishes, citrus fruits, and artificial sweeteners can sneak in as triggers, even when the rest of your diet looks healthy. And finally, habit number 6, avoiding doctor visits and screenings. Too many women stay silent out of embarrassment, when the truth is, many bladder issues can be managed or even reversed with the right guidance. So let me ask you this, out of these 6 habits, which one surprised you the most? Was there a moment today where you thought, oh, I didn't realize that was making things worse? Or perhaps you've already taken steps to change one of these habits, and you've noticed improvements. If so, your story could inspire another woman watching right now. Share your experiences in the comments below. Your words may be the encouragement someone else desperately needs. And if today's conversation has been helpful, I'd love for you to join this community by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to Elderly Wisdom Tips. Every day, we share practical, heartfelt advice designed to help seniors and their families live healthier, happier, and more confident lives. Your support not only helps this channel grow, it helps spread hope and empowerment to women everywhere. Thank you for choosing to spend this time with me. Always remember, age is not the end of strength, it is the beginning of wisdom. And wisdom, when put into action, gives you the freedom to live fully, without fear and without shame. Stay strong, stay confident, and most of all, stay true to yourself. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next video.